and he has popped the window. The window just explodes in little tiny pieces, except for the windshield. The windshield is called safety glass. The glass in the windows, you'll see it explode again. Watch as it explodes. Okay? It just explodes in little tiny pieces. The safety glass just bursts in tiny little pieces, so it's safer for us, safer for people looking at the big jagged shards that you can cut your head off with. Okay? And with the protective equipment that we have, the gloves and so forth, we have our protective equipment on, and these guys, you see them with their extrication gloves on, so that the little tiny shards may cut them, but it's a very remote chance because it's little squares with sharp edges on them, little cubes rather. And in order to remove the roof from the vehicle, you have to take all the glass out. You have to get all the glass from there so that you don't have the glass as an additional hazard to the firefighters or the people in the car. Now on the windshield, you see them cutting a hole in the windshield up there, and they're gonna saw all the way around the windshield and remove the windshield from the car too, getting all the glass out of the way because the glass will be hazardous to us, the firefighters, the rescuers, and the patients inside. What you see here, these guys with their back to you over here are using what's called, looks like a spreader. Can't tell if it's a spreader or ring cutter from behind. Alan, is that a spreader or ring cutter? Okay, he's using the spreader from behind here. He's removing the door physically from the car. He's using 28,000 pounds of force at the tip of those jaws there. And he's actually spreading that car, taking it apart. The object is to get the patient out, and so since the car had all the force of the car going against the object that it hit, the other car, the trees, the roadside, whatever, we have to use that same amount of force to remove those parts of the car. You can't just cut it straight off. The body shop, has special tools for a car that's almost in good condition. We have to make it in less than good condition to pry the car apart. And so they're using the spreader on there to pop the car at the hinge, to remove the car door rather, by the hinge from the front. On the opposite side of the car, you see the power saw being used. That's a saber saw, or a reciprocating saw. He's using that to cut the windshield off, so they've got a clean edge, and then they're going to work on what we call the posts. The A, B, and C posts are those things that hold the roof on the car. And we're going to cut them one at a time so that the roof can completely come off that car. So the guys are working. At this time, we're assuming that the patient that was inside the car has somebody holding him stable. See, the patients that are inside there, we remove the car from the patient. If a patient is inside there and has serious injuries, we don't want to further compromise the patient by jarring the car or by bending the patient to get him out of the car. We remove the car from the patient instead of getting the patient from the car. Okay, in the meantime, our ambulance is getting a real call, but it won't affect the demonstration that we're doing here. Okay, as you watch, he's spreading, he's using force. He has now physically forced the door off the car by using the tools. We now have access to the patient inside, but still, if the patient has a neck or a back injury, we don't want to be bending the patient to get out from underneath the roof. And so they're going to cut the door off the other side and then remove the roof from the car. You see right now he's cutting the second post on there, or he's popping the door off the second post so he gets the second door off the car. All this so we can expose the patient inside the car. We want to be able to get to you. Guys, if you get off my protective fence here, please.
I'm so sorry. She just pushed me over. I'm so sorry.
Sometimes there is so much force behind the equipment, behind the tools that we're using. Sometimes there is so much force behind those tools that we have seen parts of the car fly 4, 6, 8 feet. And that's why you see the guys standing away from the door when they're cutting it. Sometimes those doors, remember, what we're using is brute force on those doors. And there's so much stored up power inside there that it'll spring. And we have actually hurt firefighters by a door springing open rapidly because of the force. So it's dangerous work that we do. But if you like to tear up stuff, you're in the right business if you're in the fire service. And we'd love to have you. If you like to tear up stuff, we will train you to tear up stuff. As you see, now he's setting it on second place on the front of that door. And that second piece there, the one that firefighters down with, that's called the ring cutter. And he's actually going to cut, he's going to use the ring cutters and he's going to cut the metal on the door here.
Oh, in that case.
No. The car belongs to his girlfriend's uncle.
Okay, the firefighter with the red helmet
she's at work and
is in
couldn't
charge
come.
there, by the way. That's Lieutenant Richnowski. And he's got, looks like the C-shift crew with him. He's got firefighter Mokarski using their ring cutters. Firefighter Bielecki there holding the door. Looks like firefighter Costco with the spreaders on the back. And I can't tell who it is. It's firefighter paramedic J.R. Haney on the back side of the car.
Oh, you all right? Don't.
Now, all this is actually taking real time. This is about how much time it takes on a motor vehicle accident. And so if you are at the scene of a motor vehicle accident, you say, my goodness, what's taking them so long? It takes just as long in this training and in this demonstration as it does at the scene. And in the meantime, we would have somebody inside the car providing immediate patient care to that patient. And they would probably be covered up with either blankets or sheets, a tarp, something to keep the breathing stuff from falling on the patient and on the rescuers. Okay, they've now got the second door just about off. We're going to get in there with the spreader again and pop one last time. And now they're working on the other side. Then they're going to start cutting the posts so they can remove the roof from the car. Okay, two doors off. We've got access now to the patient on this side. We're going to start working on the top of the door. Okay, we're cutting the post on the other side now. By this time, we've got the patient stabilized inside. We've got access to the patient, as you can see, by having these doors removed. And the paramedics can be inside starting IVs on the patient. They would put specialized rescue devices on the patient. They would put a neck collar on. And also, there are short backboards that are flexible that wrap around the patient called the extrication devices or extrication boards. We call it a KED by its brand name, Kendrick. But they would be wrapping this around the patient. So we have one batch of people doing the extrication physically, as you see, and then a second batch of rescuers inside the car stabilizing the patient, providing emergency care right there to the patient in real time. There's not going to be a whole lot left of that car. This other car is the burn car. The one that's up on blocks that doesn't have any tires on it. That's for the car fire. Okay, so now they've got their game plan. They come back around to this side, and looks like they're ready to cut the posts on this side of the roof. Yes, they are. Okay, watch as the ring cutter goes through, that's called the A-post. We go from the front of the car to the back of the car. And so the first post is letter A, not surprisingly. He's cut right through it now. He's going to go to the middle post, that's the B post.
God bless you.
All he does is just grabs a hold of it with the cutter. He twists the handle on the cutter, and the cutter cuts right through that steel like soft butter. 28,000 pounds of force on the ring cutters. And now he's getting the C post on this side, the third post. Once he gets the post cut all the way through, they'll be able to remove the roof completely from the car so that the patient inside can be lifted upward out of the seat belt, and released from the car. So the purpose of it tonight, we didn't put somebody in the car just because we don't want to take undue risks on our firefighters and on our first demonstrators. Okay, he's cutting the last of the posts now. He's got a firefighter on this side, firefighter Bielecki. He's holding up this side of the roof so that if something happens, the roof doesn't fall on the patient or the rescuers inside. There, they've now completely removed the roof from the car. That's out of the way. And now they can gain access completely to all sides of the patient. Okay, are there any questions on this before we move to the next demonstration?
Josh, Tyler, let him get in between.
The question is, are there blankets? Yes, during that process we would have blankets, sheets, or tarps over top of the patient and the rescuer inside. We want to protect our folks too. Good question. Any other questions for what you've seen? Okay, the next is car fire.